have a different sign for optimism and upbeat stuff. And so anyway, the one I liked was, I didn't realize it was from Ecclesiastes, but I checked, and it's, if you wait for perfection, you'll never get anything done. Or if you wait for the perfect time, you'll never get anything done. So I want that sort of our theme today. There's never a perfect time, and you aren't ever going to get everything perfect. You can get things better and better, but don't let it stop you. If your blocks are not perfect by now, don't worry about it. We're just going to keep going. And I want you to just realize that the things that I'm mentioning are for improving, for working towards perfection, but I'm certainly not expecting, nobody's holding anybody up to a certain standard that we might define as perfect. So with that said, perfect skin, that is not me, but I wear a hat when I'm going to be in the sun a lot. And Mary said that these hats that I made last summer have people been coming in and asking about them. And I forgot to bring the one that I had taken to Florida, which was flamingos. And we have flamingos on special this weekend, online and in the store. So I'm going to just start by showing this hat. This is a bucket hat, and you can wear it different ways. It's fun. It's easy to flip down, and you can see it keeps the sun off your nose and your forehead, which are the most important things. There's every other corner has a dermatologist in Florida. It says they treat skin cancer. So they have lots of problem down there. And this is a pattern that you can buy online and print online. And it's elbatextiles.com.au. So I will show that, but I think we will try to include that in your the email that we send out that has the link to the recording. So if you want that, and then here's my fun one with Frida and the Day of the Dead fabrics from. So anyway, so that's kind of fun. So I don't know if you can see that real well. Anyway, so the hats are always fun. As far as new things that came in the store, again, I just ran through real quick. I noticed that this 12-inch woolly pressing bar has come in, and this is the wool. This is the wool, like these little pressing mats, but it's been wrapped around a rounded dowel. And I'll come back and show that. See, it's rounded dowel, and that is useful for pressing open seams and not giving an imprint of the seam on the fabric under it because of the rounded curve. So anyway, these are, Mary's going to do a presentation. If you come to her sewing club, she's going to be doing that. And then I'm going to just show one piece of fabric. Here is the pattern that we printed offline, and you can see what a neat quilt that makes. There we go. So that is showing. And this is the fabric. Kirsten, could you come take a look at my screen and see? I do not have me as the main screen. So if you guys want to see this, is that not too fun? This is, and it is, the name of the artist is a woman named Adrienne Leban, L-E-B-A-N. If you Google that, there's a really cool video of her in her studio talking about her artwork and how she's translated onto fabric. And she is, if I'm not wrong, I think she's older than I am. So she's old. She's older than I want to hesitate. I don't want to say, anyway. So it's very interesting. She has a little bit of her history and stuff like that, but then you look at this fabric, you go, wow, this is so cool. So that is that. And then I also want to just remind you, this encyclopedia of quilt patterns. This is available now. This is from Barbara Brackman, It is a $60 book, and I have it also installed on my computer. And let's see if I can figure out how to share my screen just for a second and show you that. So this is what it looks like when it's on your computer. So then you can search all these blocks and you can print them as foundation piecing, print the templates, print the dimensions, and there are thousands of blocks on there. And I'm not sure if we have a copy of that in the store right now.
We have one.
We do have one. So anyway, so we have the books, but we also, I think we have one of the software that installs on your computer. And it's kind of neat. You can install it on more than one of your own computers, but you can only be using it on one at a time. So it's really neat. So I was like, oh, which one do I want to install it on? You know, my traveling one or which one? But anyway, you can do it on more than one at a time. So that is that. Okay, so now I have babbled on about this, and I'm ready to turn it over to show and share. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with the people who are Zooming. Does anybody have show and share? And if you want to raise your hand, I think Kirsten will control the audio.
Anybody has their hand raised? Nobody has their hand raised.
Okay, to raise your hand, technically on a Zoom meeting.
They can even do their regular.
Yeah, you could just use your regular hand. Just yay. Okay, Melissa's waving at us. But you can also raise your hand under reactions, I believe it is.
Here we go. Oh,
She's outside, look at her.
Ooh, she's on her porch. Have you unmuted her? Oh, Melissa, I think you have to unmute yourself. Are you muted? Yeah, unmute yourself.
For just a minute.
I believe it's the microphone on the far left. On my screen, it is. Do you have a microphone on the far left on the bottom? No.
Let's try this.
Hey, we got you.
Am I there?
Yes.
There
you go.
Apparently it was another pop-up box behind my screen.
Yeah. That old Zoom.
This is solar flare.
Oh, great. That's a postcard pattern from Villa Rosa.
Oh, right. Yeah. I've been wanting to do that one.
I hope you can see it.
Yes, we can see it. We can, if you can hold it kind of a quarter down, we could see the bottom of the star too, I think. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. That's where it wants.
Yeah, very pretty. Great. Remind me, that works with fat quarters, correct?
Yeah, I used fat quarters.
Yes. So if you have a fat quarter collection, it'd be fun to try to organize them. We did that, I believe Needle in a Haystack did a version for our spring schoolhouse using that too. Nice. And Melissa, remind us where you are.
I'm in Hutchinson.
In Hutchinson. You have the same beautiful morning we do.
Yep. If I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, no wind. Very good, thank you. Yay, it's Corey.
Mine's just simple, but it's a table runner.
It's great. Chickens.
It was strip friendly, and I had a set of 2.5 a jelly roll with these fun chickens on it. So
yes,
that's what I've got.
Good deal. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Okay, very good. Now we'll turn it to, I'm gonna turn it around and we are going to do our in-store people.
You'll have to stand up.
Okay, who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Alrighty.
So where do I go to go first?
Maybe that empty chair?
Yeah.
Does that empty chair works? And tell me how I have to tilt the screen when she gets there.
Okay, we'll wait. We're getting ceiling. We probably don't need it to be that high, so push down a little bit. There we go. Maybe
The
more.
first thing I made
Okay.
a few months ago was for my daughter. She's a nurse. And she, with COVID, has just really given her a lot of problems. And I had these in my stash. And so then I came and had one of the girls help me pick out
So-
purple.
So that cave fabric kind of adds to the nerve-wrackingness, I'm
Yeah.
sure, of her life. I mean, you
I
can
thought
feel
she
the
would enjoy
tension.
it. Trouble is, I haven't been able to take it. I've had
Cute.
those a long time and it makes it bag or something.
Kirsten, let's see.
Yeah.
Oops,
Here, we're gonna take it from you. We're
Wait,
gonna take
let's
it from
see.
you. Can't quite see the.
Let's see. Let's do it this way. So show the front row.
And then we'll switch.
I love that fabric. It's fun to work with.
See those fun nurses in there?
Here's one. And then that cape,
Uh-huh.
cape makes a great border. That's what I say. It's kind of the tension of that purple and hot pink
Yeah.
and the orange.
And my daughter's a purple person, so this is her Christmas present. I haven't got to see her yet.
Oh,
my.
Last year, so-
Last Christmas.
Yeah. And my granddaughter, we're going to Florida next week. She graduates from college on the 20th and gets married on the 21st. So this is her graduation present. I fell in love with the little flowers that Charlotte had on the screen a couple months ago. The little yellow flowers. And her colors, she told me, is black and gray. And I says, what other color? And she said, gold. So that's what I needed.
That's cute. And she's done a label. Yes.
Yeah. To my- And these, this one's not done. but we'll go with it. For her new home. She said her house is going to be black and silver. And I says, well, what other color? Well, maybe gold.
So these are little mug rugs for,
Tahoe, whatever.
yeah,
So that is, yeah, awesome. So I've been having fun.
very good. Thank you. Next. I think Sandy, we've got something. Sandy has something.
These are, you want to stand up? Yeah, these are second Saturdays.
Oh,
Melting.
Zoom people get to see the back. We'll turn around 1 second. That's
Wow.
nice. We quilted it.
Jane Deering.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's been custom quilted. It's very nice. You can see the feathers filling spaces. So think of your empty space as a place for your quilter to look at this one right here. It's very nice. Yeah, Chris and I have different sides. Wait, look at this. Look at this. Fill blank space. Very nice.
And these were panels, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some parts of it.
Yeah, I
are
meant,
panels.
yeah, part of it.
Parts are panels and parts were our second Saturday block.
One, this is a smaller one, but it's also second Saturday. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Wild backing. If you haven't been in for a while, we have some even more backings.
Oh, I see a big string.
And again, just some of the tension that happens in these color combinations in the cave are
I love it.
very exciting.
Thank you very
Not
much.
quite.
Well,
All right. Rita, are you still here? Rita.
She's ripping backings. Oh, no.
Oh, there you are. Okay, Rita has something to show we've been working on for a while.
And it's close to being.
Wow. This is paper pieced,
Oh.
so you get the precision of the points. And we're going to show it on Zoom, just 1 second.
It
And,
has about 6 more rows to go.
but the rows are done.
The rows are,
Yes. Rows are done.
it's just a matter of saying to the-
And this is from that fabric line called Favorite Things. And it has the background fabrics have little,
Coffee cups and trees and flowers and
I don't know if we got
cactus.
that
And
close enough to share.
there's the coffee cup.
So this is, show the back and get it. This is the paper pieced. She's removed all the paper, but that's how you get the precision points. Favorite things, and this is
It's called Graphic Jam.
graphic jam.
Okay.
The fabric called Favorite Thing.
And we do have a kit coming. We have kits cut.
Yep.
We have kits
I
available.
think we have 3 available right now,
Kits available.
and the papers are in the book.
Anybody else? Here I am. Okay. All righty. So we now, I think, are at the point where it would be fun to show your blocks. And Kirsten, you're going to keep track.
So really,
Of-
we need you to type your name in the chat section if you're on Zoom. So I know that you had your block done, so we can mark it.
Well, yeah. That's what I found this red. And I love red.
So yeah, so hold up your blocks if you're online. And we've got it. Donna, are you showing a block? Oh, okay. So if you you can always, you can show it on the Zoom meeting, and then you have, this year we're doing it a little different. So you would have the rest of today to run it in if you had time to finish it between now and next. Looks good. And I like some of the color differences. Erica's is a little different. I love it. So very good. Okay. Have you got all you need, Kirsten? Yeah. Okay. Whew. All right. We are going to move on to this month's block. And again, we're with our fun 5 is fabulous. And I am going to introduce the possibility of a new template. So template set T is the large triangle in our block today, and our block is Waltzing Together. So my idea is that I'm going to share the screen with a slideshow that I've prepared, and then hopefully this is gonna work. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm there. I'm there. And there you go. Okay. Is that reading? I gotta look and see what that's reading. Yay! Is that good? Okay. I tried to, last week when I was preparing it, I forgot that you would have the Zoom stuff showing on it. So I'm hoping I haven't hidden anything. So let's see if this works. Okay, so 5 is fabulous. So this month we are on page 61 of the book, and Marty did some fun things with stripes. So basically we're cutting quarter square triangles from stripes, And you can use a number of different tools for this. As you can see, I've put down there T4, and that is, T4 is the 5-inch square basic set. We are using set Q, which is the 2.5. So the 5-inch is three pieces of template that you can cut 7 more shapes that will actually work together with that. We're only talking about one today, and it's T4. T4 is the same as 94 plus 94. So if you look back at page 59, there's a very concise illustration in the first block that shows you how flipping the 94 over. So as long as you keep it straight along the bottom edge and use that double blunt edge to line up to the 45-degree angle, you should have the right 94. So I've used 2 different templates here. Most of you only have one template, so you would flip over your existing template. And then the small flying geese ruler is also available, and that has the markings on there for the 2.5 by 5. It's down here. It's not the largest, but it's almost the largest. So it's the 2.5 by 5. And let's see. And then also the large goose, the first line on the large flying goose ruler works. So let's see, I think, yes. So there we are with the, oops. I think there we are. So I have the small flying goose ruler is the one that I use the most. I'm not crazy about the 94 plus 94 method because I never seem to get it quite exactly right. But it's there for you if that's all you have. And so just so you understand the concept, because you can do it with any triangle ruler, you can, at any triangle template of Marty's that has the double blunt cut off. And then the large flying goose, which was the first one, she didn't have the small one. So I used to use the large one all the time. And again, you can see on my rulers, I use this cutting edge all the time to mark my rulers. So there's again, just the illustration. If you didn't have that double blunt, you wouldn't know how much to overlap those. But because you have the double blunt, where it's cut off, that's going to butt up against the cut edge. Okay, so here's where this Ecclesiastes, if you wait for perfection, you're never going to get anything done. If you wait for the perfect time, you're never going to get anything done. But this is not perfect, this striped one. And I've circled down there, you can see it's within about 1/8 of an inch. Can I make this work? Yes. Why didn't it come out perfectly? Because I cut everything just exactly right. If you look at my sewing, and I don't know how visible is it on that screen, I tried to put a second line there. Yeah, this, if you look here, this, my stitching is out here in this pink one. So that's how off it was, which isn't a lot, but it is off. So that's where the problem comes. So we noticed that a lot of you have been coming in lately and bringing us your blocks and saying, why isn't this coming out right? And when we start measuring, it's close, but it's not perfect. And the perfectness is what affects the growth ×2, because every time you're off by that much, once you open that seam, that's off by 2 times that amount. So today we thought we would remind you that there is this great tool, and this is called What's My Angle tool, and it's actually packaged. This is 2 of them. 2 of them come in the package. And this is a good 1/4 inch guide, because where that circle is on that template, that's where the needle, you pierce your needle on your sewing machine through that hole. The little scissors going around those dotted lines indicate that you cut out that hole. You cut that out. And then you lower the needle through the hole, you place the template on your sewing machine, you attach it with tape, you lift your needle up, you remove that little square, and now you have exactly 1/4 inch lines, both right and left of the needle in your sewing machine. So the difference is that, again, perfection of mechanics, if you've paid, I don't even know what sewing machines are up to now, but like if you've paid thousands of dollars for a sewing machine, I'm hoping that the engineering of that is such that you have a perfect 1/4 inch between your needle and the little hash mark on their bed of the sewing machine. But if you're like me and you've been sewing with your sewing machine for 30 years and you've been hauling it in and out of classrooms and retreats and all this stuff, it's likely that's not perfect anymore. So it might be time for me to put this back on my sewing machine bed and really see where is it relative to that little engraved hash line that's on the bed of my sewing machine. So there are other techniques. I know we sell another item related to this cutting edge called the sewing edge, and that you place that on the bed of your sewing machine by measuring 1/4 inch away from the needle. Again, there's the key. How are you measuring that 1/4 inch away from your needle? So if you have something to actually put through it, it's a template, it works pretty slick. So anyway, that's my deal today, 25% off that. Okay, the other thing that I am going to make a special on, again, I know I've been pushing this cutting edge, but we're going to also offer that. If you think I might have bought that, I made that as special item in January, but maybe you've lost it already. So I'm going to give you another chance. So, because I really like these, I use them all the time. Okay, so we talked about the stripe, the striped, we were showing the black stripe, and I will show those of you in here. So here is the black one that I sewed together, but now we're just going, isn't it sweet? So we have packaged in the kits the strip of fabric. I hope that this will work for you, because what is important is sort of painted. If you want to know what is going around all 4 of the sides of the square, is that they are the same. So if you look at this strip, and I have the T104 laying across the upper edge, and I have the small flying geese ruler lying across the bottom edge, I cut this wider than the 3 inches that's needed from top to bottom of that template, intentionally, because I wanted to have the same area of the print for all 4 pieces. So that's what this is indicating here, that I've kind of fudged it. You get a 4 inch, I think it's a 4 inch strip, right, Rita, inside the kits, and you need 3. So I hope you have enough to play with in these prints. If not, you know, we are shooting for perfection, but we aren't always going to get there. So that's how we're going to cut them if we need to. This one is a little different. I searched and searched for a blue stripe to do with our batiks, and I just really couldn't come up with one. But we had this real interesting blue plaid. So I went ahead and did this, and I've tried to cut the top and the bottom of the strip similar. In this case, it's the light green strip. And again, it's a batik, so it's not printed regularly. So all I'm going to get is kind of an effect, and it's an interesting effect, I gotta say. So anyway, so also important when we're pressing when we're sewing these 4 triangles together, that you want that point in the middle really to match, because as you see here, you want that little black part to come, that little center to come together. So I pin at this point, even though I'm not pinning a lot of other places there. Okay, so then you get this, and the size is right, but is it perfect? Well, it's a print that is like it's supposed to look hand drawn and hand painted. So we can't get it all perfect, so don't even try. That is just going to come out kind of fun. And that one is going to be here. And there are all 4 of the centers that I did for this. So there's the red, and there's the batik, and there's the black and white that I was just using as an example, and then the black and white that I actually used, that you have that fabric in the kit. And again, as you all know by now, that there's no hard and fast rules. Any of these that you don't like, use a different fabric in there. You can certainly change it out, substitute it. Okay, so once you've made that center, you just need to make 4 half square triangles. We can do that real easy. Those are the, let's see, what are those? Those are the Q94 again. Then just lay it out. You've done the center, and you've made the half square triangles for the corners, and you've double checked with your square ruler that everything is measuring right. And I think I have those here somewhere here. So I have my, and if you're here in the store, feel free to come up and take a closer look at those. Okay, so here's my center. Can you guys, you can't quite see it, share. Okay. For those of you on Zoom, I'm just laying this out on a board, exactly what you're looking at. Now, the next piece, we introduced this last month, was QB. And QB is cut from a 1 3/8 inch wide strip. Let's see, can we move that side view, or do I have control over that? Can we? I think I can. Let's see. Yay, okay. Does that work now better? Can you, am I gone? Is my, doesn't look any different. Okay, well, okay. You cut this QB from a 1 3/8 inch wide strip. It tells you that in the back on the chart inside the back cover. Or Marty's favorite thing is just to use the template itself to cut the size. So I have clean cut the bottom edge. That's coming off, and now I've just laid that template piece right next to that clean cut, and then I've butted my ruler up against it to see how wide I should cut, and I just slide the template back and forth until I'm sure it's my ruler's on there even, and then I just move the template and I cut next to the ruler, and I have the exact same size that I need for that template. You can do that with any size template. That's just Marty's standard way. I still like to know what is the measurement. It's 1 3/8, so I'm going to lay my ruler down, 1 3/8, I'm going to cut. So you need 8 of QB. You'd be tempted to fold it so that you can cut multiples. And sometimes you might not have enough fabric. And it's interesting when you're cutting a shape like this, the difference between cutting them all out straight, which I have illustrated at the bottom of that screen, versus folding it. You should have 15 inches in the kit. But if you don't, you won't be able to get it folded, because that, what under the circle, can you see that? Okay, under the circle, I can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. Okay, so under the circle is all that you have left when you fold a 15-inch piece, which is close. So if we didn't get quite 15 inches into yours, I don't want you to lose out. But if you do it straight out, like in the bottom, you have as much as the green space that's under, because that's laid on a 15 inches of cutting mat, and you have a lot extra there. So sometimes you just want to check before you start cutting. And you should have, again, you have, I think you have 3 inches in your kit, so that's going to get cut in half. That would be 1 1/2 if you cut it right in half, and you only need 1 3/8, which is an 1/8 inch smaller than the 1 1/2. So you have enough, barely. So unless, I wasn't here when they were cutting kits, so hopefully you might even have more, but I told them that's absolutely, they have to have that minimum amount. Okay. So the last month we learned that optical illusion notwithstanding, that the QB and the QD are the exact same height. And so that means that that half square triangle is just being cut right in half. And again, I use my little wool, which I thought I had here. Let's see, is it hanging around here? There it is. I use my little one. I'm pressing a whole bunch of those. I just use that. And this is the one I've been using. It's a little bit scorched. This is the original stuff. We've talked about the different qualities of the wool mats that are out there today. Some of them seem to have other additives in them, which are not wool, but I think these little original ones are okay. So I recommend using those for these little ones. And I don't really press on top of my cutting mat. I just do this for photography. So I am not really getting that heat near my cutting mat. I don't want to have a bunch of you go, Charlotte, you showed pressing on your. I'm not. Okay, so then again, just to illustrate that all we're doing is creating another half square triangle out of those two pieces, which is why I just kind of dubbed it the split half square triangle. And so while it makes the block look complicated, it's not. We have to sew these together in peaks so that the black peak is at the top and there's another extra little white piece. I first sewed them all together wrong. So I had a white mountain in the middle surrounded by black. That wasn't good. So don't make my mistake. So we're sewing these together and I pressed half of them one direction and half of them the other so that they would just nest really nice and make really nice points. So you can see that. So it opens up. So what I'm saying is that make sure that your larger white half square triangle is the outside sky and your goose inside is a two-tone tuxedo goose. So, and then you just lay them together as shown in the pattern and stitch in rows, and you should have a 10.5-inch square at the end. So there are 3 blocks today. There's the red one as I photographed it in the quilt behind me. And this was the original blue. Here's the original blue block. And then here's my next one. So you can see that I am not getting 2 alike. I'm getting different ones. And then again, just to remind you that the 25% off special today is the What's My Angle, which is actually 2 for, they're $12, so $10 on $22.40. So it's like $9.60. They're $4.50 a piece. So you have one for a smaller sewing machine and one for a larger sewing machine, or you can trim them both down to smaller. And then the cutting edge, which I clearly need another package, so I have them on everything. They're reusable, and that's the special for the day. So I will stop sharing my screen, and I was going to show those at home. The this is the block as I've made it, and this is the square for today, and you can see they are different and I treated them differently. I had taken, when I started using it, I didn't know how it would work, so I took a whole piece of fabric and I actually ended up, I think I took a half a yard, and I ended up trying to cut them out like that, and that actually didn't work really well. And so anyway, so then I finally decided they work pretty well just coming up out of the stripes. So if you want more, we do have this fabric by the yard available, but it is what is in your kit. So we have the door prizes yet, but are there any other questions or comments? Anything I've left out besides the door prize?
Jan said T4 or 104. The book says 104. Remember what you're talking about?
Was I saying T4? I'm sorry.
You did at the
I'm sorry.
beginning.
T104. Sorry, yes, my mistake. Let me get that T set up here. Here it is. It's set T, and it is the quarter square 104. So there's your 5-inch, and there is your 2.5. And then these are pretty, this little, where is it? Where's my finger? This shape is the one that we're doing today. That's the QB. When, I don't know if you remember, some of us had, to start with, we had the older version of the Q, and that was just 3 pieces. And that's what was missing. We had a square and 2 triangles. So I was able to cut my 1 3/8 inch wide strip of fabric and use my flying goose ruler to cut that same shape out of the 1 3/8. So again, there's all, if you have these nice tools that are real versatile, you can often find a way to do things with them that you hadn't thought of to begin with. So that works. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, we're going to do 2 drawings. Do you have the names for the
Yes.
you have the names for the 9 who are online?
Well,
Okay.
The 6 who gave me their blog, but I've got 9 online. Yep.
Yeah, 9 online. Okay. Well, we have these cute little tins of pins. And actually, we hadn't opened the straight pin one, and this is actually my favorite pin. If you love a big head, this isn't for you. This is a fine pin with almost no head, but it's very easy to sew with once you get used to it. And that is what I'm giving away here in the store today. So I will draw a number, and the person who wins it could share, open it and show others what it looks like. We're sending you our open one. And the last 3 digits are 041. Woohoo! Okay. And then online, we have also an assortment of safety pins. And this comes in this cute little, they both came in these cute little tins. And I'm going to say the 4th one down your list.
1, 2, 3, 4. Erica Tanner.
Yay, Erica. So it'll be here. We'll probably see you in the next couple Saturdays, if not today. So we'll just hold this here for you. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We got done in 45 minutes. I'm happy. So anyway, if there aren't any other questions, we're going to let you go, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Okay, did it close?
And you didn't let him go in there? No, he was going to get out.